Greetings everybody, Chef Adam Graham here with Be Well TV. I'm going to share with you a kitchen gadget. Behold, the vegetable spiral slicer. Now this comes in a couple different versions and different shapes and sizes. This one is actually a little more complex and has some really cool features. It's a little more complicated though as well, but I'm going to walk you through the basic setup of this version of the vegetable spiral slicer. I believe the brand is called Paderno, and like I said, it's a little more complex. I like the design, very compact, but like I said, it takes a few times to work with it to actually know how to, one, take it apart and assemble it, and then two, put it back together in this very compact way. So you got this little clear lid that comes off, and you have a element here that slides out. Now this slides in for storage this way, but for functional use you flip it this way. But if you noticed when I flipped it, there's a little gadget underneath. Now it took me a few times using it to figure out what this thing was for, and I'm going to show you because it's actually really useful. Now once you've removed that, there's a little slider here that releases the lid, and then you got goodies on the inside. Yeah, I hope you're keeping score. Good thing you can rewind the video. I didn't get a video when I did this the first time, and so yeah, I was definitely at a loss. So this folds up, and this is where the blade goes, and you can see one of the blades is stored here, and then you have 1, 2, 3 blades down here. So this vegetable spiral slicer comes with 3 different blades to choose from. Now that I've got the deck open and I've folded this guy up, guess what? The hand crank is in here. Yeah, you're not going to do much spiral slicing without that. So you pull the hand crank out. Lots of parts you can inevitably lose. So you want to definitely be sure to disassemble and reassemble and keep everything together. You might even use a Sharpie to make note of what is what and where it goes. Okay, so once you've gotten your hand crank out of there, you put the deck back on and you slide it in, and there's a tab that's supposed to engage here to here. And I do that, and boom, that goes there. Now you can come back here and you can lock this so the deck doesn't come off. Alright, so we got that, and now this is the spin side. This is where the hand crank goes into the back here, and it goes something like that. This slides in there like this. Alright, cool thing is the design feature allows for people that are both left-handed and right-handed to use this. You can, I'll show you that again. There's this little handle here that's the guide, and you can pull it down this way if you want to feed going like this, and then hey, my arm's tired, I want to go the other way, you just flip it over like that, and now you crank with the left hand. Wow, okay, well, let's see it in action. I'm going to flip it back around, and I'm going to spiral slice onto this plate here. It's also suction cups on the bottom, so it'll stick to your countertop, which is actually very useful because the sucker will slide around on you depending on how much pressure you're having to use. Okay, so we're going to demo first the zucchini, and then we'll see if we can do it with a carrot. Just see how that goes. This vegetable spiral slicer is unique because it has this little pokey doodad. And the way you use it is there's a hole here that comes through and comes through here. And as you can see, this guy goes in that hole and comes out the other side. And you kind of skewer whatever you're slicing with this little steel needle. All right, but first we need to prep our veggie, and we're using a zucchini. Now, I like be sure to purchase organic produce when I'm doing spiral slicing because I want to keep the skin intact. The skin in produce contains the highest concentration of antioxidants. When you think of antioxidants, just think of color. So the green on this zucchini is a specific antioxidant which gives it this color. The red in bell pepper, the red in tomato. The carrot has orange, it's a beta carotene. So these are different compounds that are unique to the fruit or vegetable, and some compounds are only in the skin. So if I cut off the skin, I'm not getting the benefit, and I'm paying for something. Now, if this produce weren't organic, I would probably not only wash it, but then I'd also peel it, because the pesticide residue is going to be in the highest concentration on the skin. All right, so now, I'll talk it through here. I cut each end off where I want a nice flat end, and I'm using the wider end, and I'm guiding it into these little spikes. And I'll turn it on an angle here, and I like get it to sit, and I want it to be centered as much as I can. And then I come forward, and I have the needle, and I want the needle to be centered, and put that through here like this. Now, those of you at home, you've probably seen the movie Lady and the Tramp. If you would like to reenact that scene, you would proceed to make your noodles. Working this way, you would get one long noodle. Actually, that one just broke off. But you can get really long noodles by just slicing as I'm doing right now. Now you realize I'm using my hand on the back here. I'm putting my fingers across. I'm wrapping my thumb around this little handle, and that's helping push the zucchini forward as I turn the crank. Now, if you don't want the Lady and the Tramp super long noodle, then you take a knife and you score the zucchini down the middle. You only go almost halfway through, and that will, in essence, create smaller little noodles like that. So that is one of the little pro tips. Now the center tends to stay with a you can get a long noodle, so you get a little variety. But that saves you from having to cut the noodles in the end. Continue. Once you get the hang of it, you can really rip through these zucchinis making the noodles. Word of warning, the blades on these things are unforgiving and they're sharp. And don't be tempted to clean little bits of zoodles or whatever out of the blades with your hands. Either use a fork or run it under water, but just err on the side of don't ever touch the blades, because the blades usually will win in a battle between your finger and sharp metal. I've seen them cut not only zucchini, but people's fingers. Okay, so that is one zucchini down. Now, I did say that there's, on the other side, I have other blades, and they're different gauge. So this blade here is finer, and I haven't even used this yet. It still has the packaging tape over the blade. Now this is a large flat blade. It makes one single flat noodle. And then there is a fatter noodle blade as well. So you got some nice variety with this. I'm going to actually, we're going to take this carrot for a run. Now this is all you have left over after you've made noodles. This is nice. You can blend this up in a soup recipe or in a dressing. You can also cut it up and serve it with cashew cheese or any of your other kind of dip or pesto recipes. Alright, so I'm doing the same with the carrot. I would think that the finer blade would be more fun with the carrot. So let's break the seal on that, and we'll switch it out. Pull that tape off. Ideally, I would give this a rinse, but for the sake of... Alright, this is where people get cut up. Pushing and pulling. So I can see here there's a little arrow that means it came in this way, so I want it to go out that way. So I assist it by just going like that. The blade is clear. Now install the other blade. We come in like this. Slide. There we go. Alright, fat side goes against the pusher. Thin side goes where the needle comes through. Push it, and now we push the needle through. Now the problem if you don't use the needle is because this is not totally uniform and there's little variances, and it's not a straight carrot. Well, as it cuts, all those variations make it wobble, and eventually it just falls off. So this holds it true and keeps you from having to get frustrated. The first probably 5 times I used this slicer, I didn't use the needle. I didn't know what it was for, and I was definitely frustrated with the results. It wasn't until I started using the little needle that I was like, oh yeah, this one is awesome. So we're going to turn here, and you can kind of see it's like little confetti noodles. That's awesome, huh? Yeah. Alright, so we got the thinner, or the thicker noodles, and we got the thinner noodles. And there is one more thickness of noodle in terms of the noodle blade, and then there's the flat blade. Then there's the flat blade. Okay. This will keep you busy for hours and give you a lot of variation, a lot of fun stuff you can do. Like I said, just be careful, be mindful of the blades. Use a brush when cleaning. Use your little water sprayer in the kitchen to spray, and just never touch the blades, and you'll be fine. That's pretty much it. But every now and then you got to learn a little lesson. You might get a little blood on something, but that's okay. This is a great kitchen tool. Has a lot of versatility and can create a lot of fun stuff with very common food items. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Feel free to post comments, questions below. Check out livefoodexperience.com and come back to Be Well TV for more content that's uplifting, healthy, happy, and the best ever. We'll see you next time. Keep it live.